been a weird
It's a
week.
very interesting week.
Yeah.
There's very many things. First, and I think it's fair to say most notably, is the Writers Guild of America is striking for the first time since 2007. And I feel like a lot of people, this kind of strike gets lost on.
Yeah.
Because the reason a strike works is because people feel the result of it. So, when the train people strike, our trains don't run on time. When the junior doctors strike, you can't get appointments and stuff, blah, blah, blah. And yes, there are always going to be them dickheads who act like they should just shut up and deal with it. But then you have them intelligent individuals who understand the only way to get your own interests looked after sometimes is to not give the other people a choice. Basically, what this boils down to is writers residual checks for stuff they've already produced, and they have to get paid for every time it is then re-shown on TV, is fucked for streaming services. So I think someone said, say for instance you get $10,000 the second time an episode of your show gets shown on TV. If it goes straight to a streaming service after being aired only once on TV, you are only going to get maybe $700. That is a big difference.
Yeah, it is.
The way I've heard some writers describe it in interviews for the media is they are turning writing as a career. They're turning writing from a career into gig work with these kind of paychecks, which is only going to lead to worse quality of everything we consume.
Yes.
And I think, bearing in mind how much money a media makes, pay your fucking writers.
Yeah, and I think I saw a tweet because it's like I will admit I was naive in not fully knowing the extent to which the work a writer does on a show, right? When you hear the writers for a show, you think, oh, they're at the beginning, they write it, all the script, boom, they're done. They get paid for what they wrote. But there was a tweet I saw from someone who is a writer, and I think it was to do with Witcher's. Is it the Witcher new season? I can't remember what it was, but something was starting production, and they're going to continue without the writers. And they're like, well, who's going to do the during recording when there's like a line changed or a script needs updating or there's like numerous changes happen constantly and things get rewritten. It's like the writers are there for that. Like this isn't just like a production can go on.
So the best example of this actually happening during the writers' strike of 2007 was in James Bond: Quantum of Solace. Now, a lot of you out there will remember the title of that film, but I guarantee you can't tell me any major plot points. And I never realized why this film, despite looking and feeling like a James Bond film, was so bad. It came out this week when Daniel Craig was talking about his support for this strike. Why? So the final script was written for Quantum of Solace, and then the strike happened, and they decided, well, we've got a full script, we're just going to plow ahead. And the only people who were allowed to edit the script, which happens a lot during filming apparently, was Daniel Craig and the director. And Daniel Craig was quoted as saying, this isn't verbatim, but basically the general gist is, I'm an actor, not a writer. So while I might be able to change things slightly, I'm not a writer. And that's the thing. It doesn't matter how good an actor Daniel Craig is, and he's a very good actor, and he was a very good James Bond. He's not a writer. If they turn up and something doesn't quite seem right, or they want to change something because the actor and the director can see the bigger picture story and they don't think that quite works, they can see the bigger picture and know what needs to be done. But it's then up to the writer to make that work and be good, which is why Quantum of Solace, despite looking right and feeling right, was garbage because they couldn't get the script right because they didn't have a writer there to do it.
Yeah, and it's like you say, these actors, especially in situations like with Daniel Craig, where he's been playing James Bond, like he knows how James Bond should come across or sound. So like he can change the odd line to like rephrase stuff so it's like this is more how James Bond would probably say it. Sure, he can do that. He can't write what the fuck's meant to be happening in the overall story. Like that's not his job.
Exactly.
And any production at the moment that's saying they're just going to continue, oh, it's fine, we'll continue on, we have the script. Like they're just asking for problems down the road. Either it's going to put delays on production because they're now going to go, all this we've done is rubbish, and we're going to have to wait for a writer, or they're going to launch it anyway and go with it, and it's going to just stink.
Put it this way, because of the nature of TV, we're not going to notice this now.
No.
But 6 months' time, a year's time, you're going to notice that TV feels like shit. It might only be for a couple of episodes. It might be for a whole season of a TV show, depending on how
Yeah.
pig-headed the studios were. But in about a year's time, 18 months' time, you're going to sit there and go, Christ, TV's a bit shit at the minute, innit?
Mm.
And this is going to be why. I'm not a writer. I don't think I'll ever
No.
be a writer. I struggle
Me
with
neither.
punctuation too much. But these people literally run Hollywood in the sense of your TV shows, your films aren't getting made without them.
Yeah.
So pay
Right.
them. They're not asking for a ridiculous amount. Yeah, I mean, it seems like a lot of money to me, to you and I. And it is a lot of money to you and I. But just because that they're already in a better financial position than you are doesn't mean they're being treated fairly. And that's what this is actually about. It's
Yeah.
just like when people go, oh, you want to earn more than £9.50 working at McDonald's? I only earn 13 quid an hour and I'm an engineer. Your anger's misplaced there. Don't be angry at the person who works at McDonald's who wants more than £9.50 an hour. Be angry at your employers for only valuing you at £13 an hour.
Yeah.
And this is the problem. The world has convinced us to be angry at the people worse off who want to be treated fairly instead of being angry at the people who aren't treating us fairly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think it's fair to say that we support the writer strike, and I
Yeah.
hope they
Oh
can
yeah,
get the best
100%.
out of it. Just like, although this isn't the place we would normally say because it doesn't relate to content as much, just like we supported the rail worker strike and the junior doctor strike
Yeah.
and any strike basically.
Yeah.
If you're not being treated fairly at work, make them fucking listen.
100%.
Um, oh God, it feels good to be a little bit anarchist occasionally, Corey. It's like going back to me roots. Um, in other news of corporations with scumbags getting fucked over,
Yes.
Nintendo notoriously hate their fans. I don't think
Well,
that's a surprise to anyone.
no, it's really not.
Um, the entire Mario movie, which was dog shit, by the way. If you liked it, I'm sorry you have the taste of a child. This coming from the man who still reads comic books. Um, got leaked in its entirety on Twitter
Wish I'd
and
seen this sooner.
got seen by millions of people before Twitter/Nintendo were able to take it down.
I wasn't away this weekend because I would have watched that film on Twitter.
Which is just hilarious because so for those who don't really know, and sometimes like you don't know if you're just in the niche of the internet that understands it or if it's much more common knowledge.
Hmm.
I feel like it is quite common knowledge in our niche that Nintendo are scum. But I feel
Yeah.
like if you're like not an avid gamer and you just are aware of the gaming world, Nintendo probably seem like quite a nice company.
They're just like, oh, they made the kids games like
Yeah,
Mario
they
Kart and
make the
Wii Fit.
Mario and stuff. They're lovely. Um, Nintendo hate everyone.
Yes.
And and the crazy thing is that's not even an exaggeration.
Well, the
Um,
best way to put it is Nintendo are control freaks.
yes.
If they're not in control of something, they will shut it down.
Well, there's the thing that a lot of people don't understand that streaming video games can get you taken down for DMCA,
By
just like
law.
streaming music can.
Yes.
But game developers are smart enough to understand that letting people stream their games is actually good for them.
Because it's marketing.
Yes. Nintendo would be the company to DMCA strike people for playing a game.
And they
Like they
have.
did with a content creator who did Breath of the Wild content that was modded. And because it was modded gameplay, they copyright stroked them and took their content down.
Well, they've done it multiple times with content
Yeah.
creators to the point of like there'll be content creators that have done Mario content or like Nintendo content for years, and then suddenly it's not just one video gets hit; they just go back through everything and take it all.
Well, yeah. So this is the thing. They hit this creator that I saw about who'd done some modded content, but they also took down content that wasn't modded
Mm.
just to show they fucking could. So there are no tears lost for this multi-billion-dollar corporation getting its film leaked so people could see it for free. And I hope more people leak it, and I hope it really hurts their bottom line, because they treat people like shit, and I'm sick of it. Up next, Andy Samburg.
Yes.
Thankfully, he's still not done anything to get himself cancelled, so I can still love him, which is always nice. Andy Samberg has been confirmed to be the voice of Ben Riley, aka the Scarlet Spider, in Across
Yes,
the
he
Spider
is.
Verse. I love this casting so much. I can't wait for it. There's not much else to say, but I'm excited.
I mean, Andy Samberg is just a gem, and
hmm
I'm so
That man
glad.
is like 45, and he looks younger than you, Hori. No offense,
No,
but he
you're
does,
not wrong. Um,
and that is what
I
happens
love
when you stay unproblematic.
I love that he's getting to be in Spider Verse, and I'm
Yeah.
hoping some of these more as we get more and more of these different or more obscure Spider-Man revealed, ones that have a voice. I'd love like really obscure voice actors, like really big names, just doing like one or two lines, just for
What?
the sake of
Yeah.
like,
What I will say is Andy Samberg feels right to play Spider Man because just looking at
well,
him, I
yeah,
could imagine him playing an older Peter Parker.
yeah,
Like even now, I know he's 44. I could see him playing a 30-year-old, more veteran Peter Parker.
agreed.
So him playing and voice acting Spider Man makes complete sense, and I think it's a brilliant decision. Um, also, across the Spider Verse, there is a leaked rumored runtime of
Mm,
2 hours and 20 minutes, which will make it the longest ever animated film out of Hollywood.
which is very exciting.
I'm going to tell you right now, if it is 2 hours and 20 minutes, I'm still going to leave there wanting more.
Oh, 100%. And
This is one of the few times that I'm really confident that a film cannot miss.
also think about the fact that this is just part one.
Yeah. Uh huh.
And it's
Uh huh.
potentially going
Uh
to be
huh.
2 hours plus. So,
Yeah. I'm so excited for this film. It cannot come soon enough. There was a couple of stills, couple of little extended international trailers and stuff.
mhm.
Um, I don't think there's anything massively worth talking about in any of them, but the animation looks clean. Seeing lots of character designs in a couple of different shots. All the characters look good. There is so many fun little cameos that look set to be
Mhm.
made. Um, this film is going to be special,
It really is.
special film. Um, and I cannot wait for it.
On to Star Wars, though.
A rare Star Wars L at the minute.
Well,
It felt like for a while Star Wars was only taking W's.
it did.
And to be fair, this isn't a complete L. There
No,
is still a
I'd
large portion
say
of W here. I think the L is more EA here. Um,
yeah.
so Jedi Survivor, the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order,
Mhm.
came out um to the
6
world,
days
yeah,
ago.
last week. Um, and it's really funny because I've seen like three things about it. It performs like shit on PC, no matter what hardware you're running. If you get more than like 60 frames per second, you're lucky.
Mhm.
Apparently that is a bit better after a patch, but you still like
Yeah.
need the top hardware to be getting like good frames. But despite all that, people are playing it on PC and are still loving it because the story is just that damn good.
Yeah, people are powering through.
Yeah. And I think that says a lot about gamers, who I genuinely think might be some of the moaniest people on planet Earth.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like all of the complaints this time and a lot of the conversation this time are 100% valid. But when gamers are making valid points to be angry about and they are still powering through because the story is that good, wow.
Yeah, I
Give
think
me live action Cal Kestis.
100% we need it. I think you're like we said, it seems this is probably more in EAL, probably a tight deadline that meant time to optimize PC was limited because they obviously had all console releases as well. Like you gotta remember this. This isn't just like a PC game and it's had a poor PC release. Like this is released well on console. Consoles have done fine. They've they're optimizing for consoles no problem. Optimizing for PC is notoriously difficult in any game, even for just PC launches. So, I mean, probably tight deadlines is what it is. It will get patched and probably improved. And the fact that the story is so good that everyone's still playing it anyway just is a testament to how good the game must be.
But what we do need to do is talk
Mm-hmm.
about Cameron Monaghan, who plays Cal.
Mm.
He is quickly becoming one of my favorite actors.
Oh,
So I've recently started binge watching the American version of Shameless,
right.
in which he plays Ian Gallagher.
Okay.
Um, he was one of the highlights for me in Gotham, the
Mm.
Batman prequel film, in which he played two different versions of a character who is not the Joker for legal reasons, but was the Joker.
Yeah.
Both of which were very different but equally phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And now he is quite possibly one of my top three favorite Jedi.
That's fair.
The guy doesn't miss.
No, he's doing well.
So give that man a poncho
Yes.
and get him in a live action project. Make it, put him in the Mandoverse film.
So here's the thing, right? I was trying to with one of my mates, we were trying to work out where could he fit into live action. And because of when the game is set,
So Jedi Survivor is set in the same year as Kenobi. It's been
yes.
confirmed.
So I think
So Inquisitors took a huge L that year, by the way.
the strongest chance I think we might get of him in any live action would be Kenobi season 2.
I'd be so down for you, McGregor and Cameron just cutting about, being badasses.
I think other than that, it's
Unless they just give him his own show outright, yeah, we're struggling.
yeah.
But
I
I mean, there's no reason they can't give him a show outright. It's not like they just got a random person to be the face and voice actor.
no.
And this is just like someone that they found and they fall in love, and the guy's not even an actor per se. This is an actual, honest to God, mega talented actor
Mm-hmm.
who loves this role and gives this role everything, who the fans love. Disney, give him a show.
I mean, the only other thing I could think of maybe he like shows up in because we know so little about it is Skeleton Crew
That would be
or
fine.
Andor season 2
Oh,
because something which slight point I'll throw in here. Apparently, the last 3 episodes of Andor season 2
mm-hmm.
will be the final 3 days or 3 weeks. I forget what it was I read of the run up to Rogue One.
Give
So,
me Cameron. Give
so
me Cameron.
there's
Because here's the thing: they're not going to kill him off in the game,
no.
and he's such a powerful character. He kind of needs to die, otherwise people are going to be like, "Where the fuck is this bitch?" So give him a show, make it a season long, really flesh out the last bits of his character, and then have him die off. Whether that be he becomes one with the Force and becomes a Force ghost, or he finally snuffs it, or whatever.
It'd be
Give
great
it
if
to
they
me.
just used him in Kenobi season 2.
Yes, anything, anything, anything.
But yeah, I
Um,
need to pick up that game. I'm just holding off a little bit because obviously I'll be playing on PC. So
I want to play it on PC, but if they don't release a couple of patches soon to improve it, I might just buy it on my Xbox and just play it by myself.
That's
instead of
fair.
on stream, because I really want to play this. But I don't think I ever finished Fallen Order. I know, but you know how bad I am for finishing story games because I
True.
get distracted. So I may just go back and play that to fill that itch
Mm-hmm.
until they fix Survivor. But when
Yeah.
like streamers who are the most notorious crybabies of gamers are
Yeah.
suffering through like 30 FPS, it shows how damn good that game is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
In other great Star Wars news,
yes, this is about damn time.
it is.
Um, in fact, this is probably a number of years too late.
Unfortunately
But
so, but
Carrie
Carrie,
Fisher
yeah, Carrie Fisher's got her
now
Hollywood
has,
star.
yeah, she has a Hollywood Walk of Fame star. What a legend.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Hamill was there as part of the celebration,
Which we
as
love.
well as there was someone else there. I want to say it was her daughter.
I think it was her daughter.
Um, ah,
I would
Hollywood
imagine
Walk
it
of
was.
Fame. Yeah, and it was today because
Okay.
it was obviously May the 4th today,
Yeah,
so
makes
it
sense.
made sense for it to be done.
Smart.
Where is who was there? Uh, yeah, Billy Lord, her daughter, was there, as well as Mark Hamill, and they had C3PO and R2D2 there as well.
Of course it did.
Um, I love Mark Hamill.
Great man.
He genuinely seems to have a very deep care for all of the people who experienced that original trilogy with him.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that Harrison Ford couldn't give less of a fuck about Star Wars, it genuinely seems like Harrison Ford at the drop of a hat could say, "Hey, Mark, can you help me with this thing?" And Mark would be there in a flash,
I can,
despite the
yeah.
fact that Mark adores the Star Wars universe and, like I said, Harrison Ford couldn't give less of a shit. And Mark Hamill is the very, very best of endorsing a brand.
Yes.
Um, and I'm glad he was there to honor Carrie in such a beautiful way.
Yeah, me too. It was the best person
Yes,
that could have
100%.
been there. But I think that wraps up the news.
Yes, I don't think there is any more news this week that needs to be discussed.